President Zelensky says that the heavy weaponry will be crucial in the drive to push back and defeat the Russians. The German Chancellor, Olaf Scholz, had been under growing pressure to agree the deal. He was reflecting the deep misgivings among many Germans. Well, Germany will make available 14 of these Leopard 2 tanks, and they'll be giving partner countries permission to export the very same model of German tank to Kyiv. And Washington is set to deliver a significant number of these, the Abrams tanks, to Ukraine. President Biden says it shouldn't be seen as an offensive threat to Russia. But Russia's ambassador in Washington has warned that any deliveries of US tanks will be, in his words, a blatant provocation. Our Europe editor, Katya Adler, has this report.
Almost a full year of hell, destruction, devastation, cruel deaths and despair in Ukraine. The most serious armed conflict in Europe since the Second World War. An attempt by Russia to upend a sense of security across the continent. But today saw an offer of help Kyiv has long been crying out.
We will now be sending our Leopard 2 battle tanks to Ukraine. We are doing this after intense discussion with our international partners and allies. It was right not to hurry this decision.
Actually, Mr. Scholz's allies had fast been losing patience. Lots of European countries own these German-produced tanks. They're stable and reliable. But Berlin has all the export rights, so countries like Poland, desperate to send this powerful help to Ukraine, couldn't as long as Germany dithered. Now Kyiv could eventually receive dozens of tanks, though its soldiers first need to be trained how to use them. Public pressure at home as well as abroad also heavily influenced Chancellor Scholz. Being Prime Minister of Germany is a tricky balancing act.
What Russia is doing now in Ukraine is awful. But sending in German tanks, with our history, it's a terrible idea.
I grew up in post-war Germany. It was right to think long and hard before sending tanks, but now I'm glad we're doing it.
I have a very bad feeling about all this. I'm scared how Putin will react.
Also wary of Moscow, Chancellor Scholz was keen for the US to send some of its mighty Abrams tanks to Ukraine too.
Putin expected Europe and the United States to weaken our resolve. He expected our support for Ukraine to crumble with time. He was wrong. He was wrong. And he was wrong from the beginning, and he continues to be wrong. We are united.
The key now is speed and volume. We have to form a fist of tanks, a fist of freedom, which will not allow tyranny to rise again.
These Soviet-era tanks are on permanent display in the German capital. During the Cold War, the threat of nuclear attack was ever present. Tonight, while many celebrate Olaf Scholz's decision on tanks, others, including powerful voices in his own party, warn this conflict could now escalate, threatening lives beyond Ukraine.